General Secretary and President Lam receives the Lev Tolstoy International Peace Prize 2026.
U.S. maintains dialogue with Iran amid escalating tensions.
Veteran Pham Trong Song, a journey of living a beautiful life in peacetime.
Hello everyone, you are watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Đăng. Let's get started. On July 24th, the jury of the Lev Tolstoy International Peace Prize met and voted by full agreement to award the 2026 prize to Lam, General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam and President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam.
Members of the jury of the International Peace Prize named after Lev Tolstoy especially acknowledged the contributions of the Vietnamese leader to the cause of national construction, successful contributions to the cause of world justice, respect for international law, and promotion to the world of the tradition of peace, humanity and dialogue of the party, government and people of Vietnam. Other representatives of the jury especially acknowledged Vietnam's success in development and integration. Because of those achievements, all members of the jury unanimously voted to award the Lev Tolstoy Prize in 2026 to the highest leader of Vietnam, General Secretary and President Lam, as an affirmation honoring mutual understanding and cooperation between nations. This is the third time the International Peace Award named after Lev Tolstoy has been awarded.
U.S. President Donald Trump stated that Washington and Tehran are maintaining contacts, noting that Iran is showing a more serious attitude in the negotiation process.
Speaking at the White House, Mr. Trump said he has not yet decided whether to expand military campaigns against Iran, while confirming that the U.S. administration continues to maintain dialogue with Tehran. As of July 24th, the U.S. military has conducted airstrikes targeting Iranian military facilities for 13 consecutive nights. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi held a phone call with his Egyptian counterpart, Badr Abdellaty, to discuss regional developments. According to the Iranian side, Mr. Abbas Araghchi reiterated that Tehran will not accept a ceasefire until its demands concerning the Strait of Hormuz are met. He also asserted that the current issue does not stem from a lack of intermediaries, but rather depends on the approach taken by the United States.
On the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's foreign ministers meeting in Kyrgyzstan, Russian foreign minister met his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi for talks on bilateral cooperation, relations with the U.S. and the war in Ukraine.
During the meeting, the two foreign ministers expressed great satisfaction with the positive development momentum of the Russia-China Strategic Coordination Partnership, affirming that bilateral relations are at an unprecedentedly high level, based on the foundation of the Russia-China Treaty of Good Neighborliness, Friendship, and Cooperation. The two sides reviewed the implementation progress of agreements reached during Russian President Vladimir Putin's official visit to China in May, and agreed to promote political dialogue, expand substantive cooperation, and strengthen people-to-people exchanges between the two countries. In addition to bilateral and multilateral issues, the talks also touched upon relations with the U.S. and developments related to the conflict in Ukraine.
Coming up next are some updated news.
In Hanoi, the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment recently held the kickoff workshop for the project Sustainable Management of Controlled Substances under the Montreal Protocol, implemented from 2026 to 2031 with a total capital of over $13 million funded by the Multilateral Fund through the World Bank and UNEP. The project aims to support Vietnam in fulfilling its international commitments on managing and phasing out HFC and HCFC substances. The project's core objectives are to reduce emissions equivalent to 6.1 million tons of CO2, eliminate 97.5% of the baseline consumption of HCFCs in the refrigeration servicing sector, and begin reducing baseline consumption of HFCs by 10% starting January 1st, 2029, making a practical contribution to the national climate change response strategy.
The Customs Department has recently issued Official Dispatch 19323 announcing Singapore's ASW Gateway Maintenance Plan, aiming to help agencies and businesses proactively manage their import and export activities. According to Singapore Customs, the ASW Gateway system will undergo maintenance from 1500 to 2200 on July 25, 2026, Singapore time, corresponding to 1400 to 2100 on the same day Vietnam time. During this period, electronic data exchange transactions between Vietnam and Singapore regarding Electronic Certificate of Origin Form D, E-Form D, and ASEAN Customs Declaration, ACDD, via Singapore's ASW Gateway will be temporarily unavailable. Singapore Customs has also requested ASEAN member states not to send E-Form D and ACDD data during the maintenance period.
After a 14-day journey across Vietnam, the 2026 Vietnam Summer Camp themed Heritage Journey, Connecting Roots, featuring the participation of more than 100 overseas Vietnamese youth and students from 32 countries and territories, officially concluded on the evening of July 24th in Nha Trang Ward, Con Hoa Province. Over the past 14 days across 8 provinces and cities, the 2026 Vietnam Summer Camp provided members with a rich variety of experiences to learn about history and their roots. The delegates visited Uncle Ho's hometown in Kim Lien and offered incense at revolutionary red addresses such as the Long Dai Ferry Terminal and the GAC Ma Soldier Memorial Site. More than just a journey to discover their roots, the 2026 Vietnam Summer Camp also left a profound humanistic imprint.
The memories of war and the everyday stories of returning soldiers remind us of the true value of independence and freedom. Veteran Pham Trong Song, who once fought on the Quang Tra battlefield, has lived a remarkable and meaningful life in the years of peace.
Mr. Pham Trong Song was born in 1956 in Vinh Loc Ward, Nghệ An Province. Born into a family of 2 brothers, both Mr. Song and his older brother volunteered to enlist in the resistance war against the U.S. In 1974, during an attack on an enemy base, he was unfortunately hit by an M79 round and suffered severe injuries.
Back then, my unit was ordered to raid an enemy outpost, and I was assigned to lead an attack wedge when an M79 round landed about 1 meter away from me. I was severely wounded, and a shrapnel fragment embedded in my arm.
Returning from the battlefield with a body bearing numerous wounds, Mr. Song weighed just over 30 kilograms at the time. It seemed as though his life would be bound to loneliness and illness. But a miracle appeared. Back then, Mrs. Lee, a beautiful and healthy staff member at the Nghệ An Wounded Soldiers Nursing Center, gave her whole heart to that severely wounded soldier.
I saw that he was small and gentle, so I felt a deep affection for him. No matter what anyone said, I still decided to marry him.
Through all the storms of life and physical pain, the simple yet steadfast love of Mr. Song and Mrs. Lee has not only built a happy family but also served as a solid anchor and a shining example for their children and grandchildren to follow. With more than half a century attached to the Nghệ An Wounded Soldiers Nursing Center, Mr. Song has not only written a deeply moving love story but also earned everyone's admiration for his compassionate heart and wholehearted dedication.
Since coming here, Mr. Song has been one of the most active individuals in the unit's activities. Although severely wounded, he has always selflessly dedicated himself without a thought for personal gain.
As a respectful recognition of that dedicated journey, in 2019, veteran Pham Trong Song was honored to receive a Certificate of Merit from the Prime Minister for his outstanding achievements in labor, production, overcoming injuries, and shining for the community.
This is the end of the show today. Thank you for watching.